Hi, this is Peter Gould. I'm one of the executive producers of Better Call Saul, and this is episode 202, Cobbler.
Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Mando, and I play Nacho.
Hi, I'm Mark Proksch, and I play Pryce / Daniel Warmold.
Hi, I'm Skip MacDonald, the editor of the episode.
Hi, Gennifer Hutchison, and I wrote this episode.
Hi, Ray Seehorn. I play Kim Wexler.
And I also will have to give a big shout out to Terry McDonough, who was the director of this episode.
Yes.
And we'll talk a little bit about Terry as we go.
Go, Terry.
Yeah.
But before we do, I have to ask.
What a sedate man.
This is Terry and I go way back to season 2 of Breaking Bad. He directed 2 of my first episodes of Breaking Bad, and spent a lot of time with him on the set. And he is a wonderful guy. He's a vision. He started out as a camera operator. He has a fantastic eye. But he's also wonderful with actors. He just has a great light spirit, and I really enjoy working with him. And I was a little bit jealous that Jenny got to work with him on this one. But before we'll talk more about Terry. But Skip, I have to ask you. I didn't know Michael McKean was such a fantastic pianist. Is that really him playing?
In this shot, that's him. He's kind of artificially playing, but they brought in a professional player when the close-ups on the keyboard. So
I wonder, because he does play a number of instruments very, very well.
He played the guitar for us in the writer's room.
And he does play piano, I think, just not this particular...
Not this piece.
This piece, yeah.
This is a piece Dave Porter wrote. Is that correct?
Oh, really? I didn't know.
No. It's he didn't write it,
He
right?
selected it.
He
selected it, but
Okay.
he's playing it, I believe, in the master. Is it
Oh, yeah?
Dave playing it in the master?
That is Dave.
Yes.
It's Dave Porter playing, and Dave is an excellent musician with a number of different instruments.
Wow.
And so, Jenny, what do you think that was about? That little bit with Chuck at the piano.
The music,
Chuck
yeah.
at the piano.
I know, and that mysterious name on the sheet music, Rebecca Bois. I think we wanted to have a moment with Chuck alone and seeing sort of a different side to him, other than just wrapped up in his illness or in relation to Jimmy, that there is sort of an interior life that goes on with this man. There are other regrets in his life other than his relationship with his brother, and sort of give him a little bit more depth and more soul, and that he does have a past. And sort of that was the impulse with the name on the sheet music, that there's a history there. And of course, we'll learn more about that particular person in episode 5, I believe. So that was it. We just wanted to give sort of Chuck more of a moment of quiet.
It's interesting because this season kicks off the episode 1. We didn't even see Chuck. I don't think Michael McKean appears in the first episode of the season. And now we're coming back to this character, and like Jenny says, I think one thing that I find fascinating is that the audience really dislikes Chuck now.
They do not like him, yeah.
And perversely, that makes me want to understand him better, or at least.
Interesting.
So it's a fascinating thing.
Well, I know in this scene especially too, we wanted to kind of create the sense that Chuck has regret about how things went down with his brother at the end of season 1, that there's almost a hope for reconciliation here. When he's talking to Howard, he very tries to casually ask how Jimmy is, and it's not really until Howard says what's going on that Jimmy has this job at Davison, Maine, that the gears shift for Chuck. So it's like, I kind of miss my brother, and maybe we can... What? No. That's it. What has he done? Of course he has. So that was sort of a fun kind of turn to kind of try to put into this scene.
And Michael plays it so subtly. It's really pretty beautiful.
And of course, poor Howard is in such a bad spot trying to... Patrick is so great at playing. Howard is so much about what's projected on him as well as what he really is doing.
Yeah. And I mean, this is Howard is the person who he always looks immaculate, and like the way he presents himself, and he's mannered in this very specific way. And so it's great that kind of the nervousness comes out here in this sequence, of like, Chuck's not going to like this, and I have to deliver this news, but I also support Jimmy, so he's definitely in kind of a tricky situation.
He's trying to be Switzerland. He's a little bit of a quisling, I think is one of the terms I think we've used about him. You'd have to look it up, folks.
Awesome.
He's trying to play, and he's trying to handle Chuck. And it's a very interesting thing. And Patrick he's such a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
And does such a great job with this character. We got two of our characters, one of whom the audience hated at the beginning of season 1, and one of whom they hated at the end of season 1. So, that's
And they're like, let's hang out.
let's hang out in a smoky house.
Right.
No pressure.
Michael's body language is just too much.
Yeah. He does some fine face acting himself.
And
He does.
and I seem
Lovely
to remember
face
that this metronome caused a little bit of heartburn for you.
Did it?
Is that right?
Yes, it
Sound?
did, because with the sound, but the timing of it was never the same 2 takes
How could
in a
you
row.
cut together? Yeah.
So we ended up having to do a lot of visual effect work, split frames where we could speed it up and change
wow,
the
I didn't
timing
even
so it
think
all
about
felt
that.
equal throughout the scene.
Huh.
And it's seamless. You did a great job.
Well, thank you. No, it's a great opening for the show.
We just got asked about the opening credits at that panel discussion we all just did. Like, people are fascinated with how purposefully shitty they are.
It's a hard one,
Yes.
shittiness, I feel.
and of course, we all tribute to Curtis Thurber, who did those, who was your assistant and co-editor.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay.
He did a great job with the main title, spent a lot of time, different images, and worked with you guys and did a fantastic job with it.
He made a little change this season. It's not something I don't think we've mentioned so far on these that there's a tiny difference between the credits in season 1 and season 2.
Oh, goodness.
I love this scene. Another great silent scene. I do love them. I just love them.
I love seeing behavior.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
To date, the following documents
Sir Francis.
requested from Sandpiper
Sir Francis.
part of our initial
James.
discovery petition.
Having to do his dry legal dialogue. The world's most boring meeting.
And I believe he was really just in for one line in the pilot of season 1, and now he's this character who keeps coming back.
Official Sandpiper vendors.
Now, there's a fun fact about this scene coming up.
Yes.
Yes.
This table is actually completely solid all the way through, and you cannot see anyone's legs or feet. So the bottom half of the scene was shot elsewhere with a fake table, so that we could do this camera descending.
How'd you do that, Skip?
Oh, you just have to learn how to blend 2 images together. And then, you figure out a way to expand the side of the table to make it look like it's just going through.
I see.
And it took a little while to get that one sorted out, but it came out great.
It's amazing
You can't tell at all.
the tools
You can't
we
tell
have
at all.
now for visual effects and how they can alter the way the show is presented.
Mark, you can say you love the scene. I see you feeling like you need to be mute about it.
Well, I
can
wanted to
say
see in real life your face acting. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm such a big spaz compared to Kim. Like, you could never actually film my real life Jello rubber face. It would be too much. I have such a soft place in my heart for all the parking garage smoking scenes.
Yeah.
They warm my heart.
I have a question for that. Why is it? I mean, it looks visually beautiful, but is there another reason why we always have Kim's face half in the shadows every time they're smoking a cigarette, and it's always her?
We don't like the top.
she's
We don't
burn
like
marks
the. We
on
don't
my
like the top of Ray's face.
Yeah.
That's actually the secret. You almost never see the top half of Ray's face on the show.
I used to only wear baseball caps.
I think it's, Mike. I think it's really just thinking about it as a film noir. It is to me.
That's what I
That's
feel.
how I-
Yeah,
that's
and
how I
it's
see it.
beautiful. It's really, really nice.
Her introduction was in the pilot was very film noir.
It's the
I
best.
feel like, and
It's one of my
and
favorite
just
scenes I've ever shot.
Always hearkening back to that is really fun.
And this is the one safe place to smoke at
Yeah.
HHM.
They're having this very kind of hopeful, intimate conversation but this, and she's half in shadow the whole time. It's just, I don't know, it's interesting.
And
No,
you
it's
wrote this
very
great
nice.
shift in it that halfway through, I'm telling him, you should get about his new house. And then I switched the pronouns to we.
Mm-hmm.
And he notices, and I notice that he noticed, and I retract because it's just a little embarrassing and vulnerable, but it was a sweet moment.
Yeah, it's one of the first times I think we get to see them, just little coupley things, that you do when you're excited about someone new and a new relationship.
Right. And I liked that you see that she wants him as much as he wants her. This is not a one-sided chase thing.
This is
Which was important to us.
It's important to- yeah.
That this is an adult relationship where they're both into
Right.
each other.
She did not
yeah.
acquiesce.
Yeah.
This was fun.
And it's tricky. I think writing wise, it's easier to write longing than the next step in a relationship, and that's one of the things that I think we struggled with. But I'm just so happy with how the relationship between these two characters came out this season, because it would have been I think a simpler choice for us to keep Kim kind of an elusive will-o'-the-wisp who Jimmy's longing for. But now they're starting to get each other, and what's going to be the next step?
Yeah, I think people are nervous about. I think dramatically, people think that the act of getting into a relationship is the most interesting dramatically, and think once you're in a relationship, you're happy, everything is done, there's no source of conflict anywhere, and that's not true for anybody who's been in a relationship. There's constant negotiation, and you're making a choice to be with someone, which means you're not making other choices. So I think dramatizing that is interesting.
Oh, yeah, good way to put it.
I always love seeing that on screen.
And I think part of the really lovely response that we've gotten to this relationship is that the two characters are utterly transparent about the business of being together. Whether it's, the negotiation of being in a couple is its own contentious affair.
Right.
Jeez.
They do. They have a very healthy,
Wait,
healthy relationship.
Wait, you want to add to that, Mark?
Gosh, I love my wife. I don't know what's wrong with you guys.
But that's
You're
what
not
I'm saying.
happy, get out.
No, but they love
But
each
loving
other.
someone is even a negotiation.
Yeah.
It just is.
Whatever.
It's just all happy all the time.
I believe that. I believe Mark's happy all the time.
I do too.
Pretty damn happy,
You're like me. You're just simple.
Yeah. It's that.
You're either simple or you're hiding a very dark secret.
Yes. There you go.
Or
I
both.
love the fact, we wrote in this thing where he looks out the sunroof, and we kind of thought, well, no one's going to get that.
Chicago
And
sunroof?
people absolutely
got
get it. They know what we're referring
Love
to.
it.
Best
and
fans
this-
in the world.
Oh yeah.
This is actually not shot inside the car, is it? This shot.
You had it.
I thought
they had a fake.
Oh, yeah.
The fake ceiling
Oh, really?
or the roof of the
Yeah,
car.
because
Oh,
you
is
get
that
the
how they
camera
did that?
underneath.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
they did a photograph of the top of the car. This, and then they blew that up and then shot through the little set piece. It's
so really fun.
that's so
shot.
clever.
I totally didn't know. I was like, do you take the bottom of the car off? Like, how are you?
It's such a clever shot that we stole a piece of it for a later episode.
Oh, did
We
you?
yes, we stole a piece. Actually, for your other episode, we stole a little piece of that shot.
Then that's
so.
fine.
Oh, wow.
As long as I'm always benefiting.
That's
That's totally fine.
Here he comes.
Jurassic Park shout
I
out
love
there.
that.
So,
You know, it was
so
like,
funny.
so
Dumb.
what?
tell
talk
us about Pryce, Mark.
Pryce decided that now that
love
he
that
has some
shot.
money, he's going to spend it. And usually on yellow things.
Does he have a favorite color?
I can't tell, but that's up for you writers. What are you doing here? Yeah, he is just clueless and does not understand the whole nuances of being a drug dealer.
What does he think of Mike?
I think he's frustrated by Mike at times because I think Danny is such an arrogant idiot that he doesn't understand when people are trying to help him. I think he's like takes offense to that because he's probably been bullied his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Mike says no, it's kind of a a big deal to him, and he starts complaining and tells him to leave. But I also think in this scene right here that he starts to see him more as a father figure in an odd way. Because you learn that his dad's dead, and he's now giving him kind of some advice, and he's going to help him. I don't think Daniel has many people like that in his life.
I love so much that you did not play him as some kind of cliched sap, that he is arrogant and he's he's a dick in some of these scenes. Like it's just so great that it's nobody is in this cartoon box on the show.
Yeah, no, they. And that's you guys. There's no character in this show that's unnecessary or just frivolous, and you don't throw them under the bus for a joke. Every character seems to have backstory, and it's so incredibly easy then as an actor to do it.
Well, you do a great job. And am I right in thinking this is your first episode with us that wasn't directed by Tom Schnauz?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, really?
So
I came out of the Tom Schnauz School of acting. So, but Terry was very accommodating to my quirks that Tom put into me. So.
Your cards back. You're obviously under suspicion.
There was nothing there for them to
Is it actually hard to get in and out of that Hummer?
Yeah. I don't know.
In my
It's the
head, you need
least-
that little doggy lapdog
Yeah.
to get onto a bed.
It's
little
the
stair
least
thing.
convenient
Lull you into a
vehicle you could possibly own. I don't know why you would ever buy it, unless you're, in the desert or in the mountains.
In the war.
Yeah, I disagree. It was fun to drive. I will say this, though. It was fun to drive.
Oh, really?
Because, it's like, I don't even, it's like all of a sudden I was on a speedboat. It's, something I would never do.
Right.
Or get to do. And then I got to do it. So it was like, getting to drive a dump truck. Getting to drive a Hummer. So it was fun while it lasted.
Only go out for
You're not going to
construction
buy
parts.
one then?
I don't see myself buying one, but if the Hummer Corporation wants to give me one and soup it up with yellow and red, I will take it and then sell it. So.
I
Your
love how,
shift there to real emotion
Yes.
about his dad is so beautiful.
and I love how Jonathan is like, oh, all right.
Fuck. He's like, fuck.
Why do I have a conscience? Why do I have a conscience? I know I'm going to regret this.
Yep.
Oh, that's
I wonder if Jonathan felt like a paternal part of Mike kicking in there too, especially given his son being gone. If he was here, he'd tell
He
me to
was
shut
here.
up.
Yeah, probably.
If he was
Stinky,
here,
be quiet.
None of your business.
he was none of your none of your fucking business.
none of your
Totally.
fucking business.
He can't omit the 4-letter word.
I don't know why you guys have a problem. He's a total marshmallow with me.
Oh, he is.
so.
He is. Oh,
He is a
please.
marshmallow. He's the
He's a
sweetest
sweetheart.
Man. He
He's a
is.
prince.
And here's a pen that we made.
Our special Davison Maine pen.
That's right.
There's a lot of super cool props on this.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's like between takes, you just start looking around at all the shit that you get to play with and touch.
Yeah.
And yet you never got to be on this set, did you?
Just watching, but not as a character. No.
And neither did you, Michael.
I got to watch a lot of you guys work. I was very lucky. I think we both did, Ray, right?
Yeah,
When we were in
yeah.
New Mexico, when we were in Albuquerque,
So much
there's
fun.
very little to do, and it was so much fun to go on set and watch everybody work.
It's great. It helps you stay in the tone too. It's sort of like listening to a song on a headset right before you have to sing it. You know what I mean? Like being on stage with everybody else and then going on in your scenes it's much more seamless for me.
Yeah,
anyway.
you get the
that's
sense of
smart.
the pulse of the crew and the rhythm of the crew and the mood on set.
Well,
And
it's-
did you already say this set's beautiful?
Yeah,
this is
it's
one of our
very
only.
nice.
We do more location than sets. Am I right? Mathematically.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But then the lobby of it is the actual library,
It's a library, yes,
which
off
is
of
a
Central
super
Avenue.
cool library.
Yes, it is.
Um,
But this is all set, and this
it's beautiful.
This beautiful Steadicam shot shows off a big chunk of it here.
Now is this Skip? Is this Ed playing for real?
I wish I could say yes, but no, it's not. They brought in a hand double
Okay.
to play.
Because he plays too, right? Isn't Ed a musician?
I-
Or just saving the planet? I forget.
Yes,
What's his other
mostly
day job?
saving the
Yeah.
planet. Mostly
Yeah.
saving the planet and being really,
He doesn't have
really
time
lovely.
for instruments.
Yeah.
You play?
Oh, I tried to learn in high school, but then I decided there were easier ways to get girls.
Was it done on purpose, the parallel between Ed's character and Chuck, about both of them playing instruments in this?
That's your musical
There's
theater
like a
background, right?
juxtaposition of
Yeah, Jenny.
It is. I mean, in a sense, I think there's always that there was. I think the idea of Chuck playing the piano, which is a lot more formal, as opposed to Cliff's guitar playing, which is a little more earthy and a
Acoustic,
little
yeah.
more like approachable, definitely was something that we thought about, I think. But yeah, I don't know, we just love the idea of him being this kind of approachable, slightly, maybe a little former hippie kind of energy that in contrast to HHM and Chuck. So when we think about Cliff, I do think we definitely think about Chuck in a sense as well.
And how much of a long game are you playing as far as, do you know when you're doing this scene, did you guys already know he'll want that Jimmy will do the whole play bagpipes and try to get fired one day by using the music thing against him?
I don't think we knew that, but I think what we had in mind was that this office is a great place to work.
Yeah.
And that Jimmy wasn't going to leave because he was mistreated or there was anything wrong with the place. This is actually, Jimmy
Had to
makes
be
his
great.
own trouble.
Yeah,
Jimmy
exactly.
screws it up for himself. And Michael, I have to ask you,
Yes.
I heard you learned how to do this.
Yeah.
Is that true?
That's
Did you
true.
really?
Yeah. I spent
love
as
this
much time as I could. I spent about 3-4. The moment we got this, from the moment we received the script, we had about 3-4 days, and I wasn't sure how much you guys were going to use, but just for my own kind of curiosity, I spent about 3-4 days, as many hours as I could with those guys. And I have to say, Ted and Jose, who the owner and one of the workers there, were so kind with me. And I ended up really, really enjoying it and thinking that there was a lot of it to Nacho, too, because he seems to be very careful about the way he dresses and very observant, very visual.
Interesting, yeah.
So I thought there was I can tell you a story about this particular day. Do you remember,
Who
Gennifer?
plays your dad?
Oh,
Who's
yeah.
the actor playing your dad?
The actor plays my dad is a wonderful actor by the name of Juan Carlos
I love
Cantu.
him.
We went to lunch, tried to build a relationship, and it was just immediate affection for him. I can tell you a story about this. We started shooting at 4:30 in the morning. We were on set about
Really?
5 in the morning, yeah. And then we did the blocking. We got about one take into the master shot, and then there was a gunpoint robbery right next to us.
I heard about this. I
Yeah.
was like in a fitting, and they said, like, did you hear? There's like sirens. And stuff.
The robbers ran out of whatever they were robbing, and they got into the neighborhood right next to us, and they had to close down both neighborhoods.
Yeah.
We were obliged to go inside. There were helicopters everywhere,
day.
and we couldn't shoot the scene, so we were inside, and then we flipped the schedule, shot the inside stuff first, and by the time we wanted to go outside, there was lightning.
Oh, yeah,
Very,
we were on a
very-
lightning delay. Yeah, for a
and,
while.
And we went to eat, and they turned off the motors. We ate in the dark, and they were talking about seriously. They were talking about redoing
Bonding.
this scene in at the end of the season.
Yeah, but we ended up not having to do that, to our crew's credit. The other thing is when we were on lockdown inside, the crew wasn't able to access the trucks where the equipment was. So we also had to film that stuff inside. The crew worked really quickly to figure out what could we actually film with. I think we only had a couple lights, and so it was, make sure we had enough available light, using the lights that we had, and actually filming those scenes inside. So it's, credit to Terry and the crew for like really managing to do as much as possible given the constraints that we had. And then once we were opened up, the other thing was those helicopters, because it was a standoff situation. These people were holed up, and so there were
Was everyone
helicopters all
okay?
day. Everyone is okay. There were no injuries. Nobody was hurt during this, and eventually the people were apprehended. But it meant that there were helicopters all day, which was a huge sound issue.
Sure.
This was like this. The masters were like at like 6 in the morning, and then the close-ups were shot at like 5 in the afternoon.
And I have to say, in the editing room I wasn't there. We never knew it. I just loved the scene.
Yeah.
And Michael, I love, and we've gone a little bit past it now, but I love it when Mike is talking to your dad. And you are shifting back and forth between
It's
the
so
two of them.
great
And
to
it's
get
like
to
two
see
different.
a character have to be something different.
It's two different. It's like
to
two
each
different
other.
identities that he has for
Ter-
each one
yeah.
of them. You're showing two sides of yourself.
Yeah.
Which, of course, is something you do again later during when Mike Mike and Tuco are tangling.
Yeah.
But it's so beautiful, and the Juan Carlo has such. He seems like such a warm, sweet guy. When I watch him, I never think that he knows what Nacho's up to on the side.
It doesn't seem like
It doesn't
at
seem
all.
like it's.
I don't know.
I have to give credit to Terry for that. He told me, he said, "What do you think if I placed Nacho in the middle?" And I hadn't thought of that, and that's all credit to Terry. And that just created that dynamic right away. I felt torn between.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things you had to lie to your father about knowing this man, and you had to lie about how stressed you are to this man. You were kind of lying to 2-3 things. You had to hide
Sure.
2-3 things at the same time.
And
That
just
was a
who
lot of
are
fun.
you to different people in your life? Like,
Yeah.
I love that kind of statement, like
Yeah.
he is to his father, he's his son who works in a furniture shop, who's doing the best he can. And to Mike, he's totally something else.
Yeah.
It's really
And there's
great.
a parallel I found. I found this scene, putting me in the middle the way Terry did, created a parallel for Nacho, because both of these men were from the same generation. Both had family values, moral values, hardworking middle class. And I felt there was a sort of like a symmetry between those two.
Sure, yeah. And watching the dad character not want to bilk Mike out of money
Yeah.
and
That's
and
wonderful,
being
Gennifer,
ethical,
yeah.
it was so great.
Yeah, we wanted Mike to actually have a bit of an actual kind of connection with the dad. Like these guys probably would get along.
Yeah.
Oh,
And how irritating to Nacho.
oh so I know.
I'd say it's
Dad, please.
no.
He's a bad guy.
10,000 in cash.
Now, they also used to be playing instruments in this scene, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Little oboe action.
Started up. Devil went
Yes.
down.
It's a
Piccolo.
dance-off normally.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I won't sing. We won't have to get rights anymore.
You know, when you guys tell me about the problems you had shooting this, that just amazes me, because it's a perfectly executed
Yeah.
scene.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I
Thank
have
you.
credit
No,
to the cast
that's
for
crazy.
Yes.
being under that kind of stress and managing to give such amazing
Oh,
performances.
I think both Jonathan and I really wanted to shoot it. We didn't want to go to shoot at the end of the season.
Right.
You're
So
right.
we were really hoping that everything would clear off, and it did, and that was really cool.
And this is another Arthur Albert special here. His work and his crew and Steve Latecki, just the whole group, doing beautiful, moody work here. So, Jenny, why do you think we had that scene just a Chuck?
I think you guys decided I should write all the insomnia scenes this year. So no, just
that's closest to my heart.
Yes,
so yes.
yes. No, just he's unsettled. This is a guy whose world he tries so hard to control, and he just can't. There's that one element that just keeps fucking it up.
And of course, he hasn't been out of his house since last season.
It's true.
Oh, and here he is. I love seeing you guys all together.
I do too. I love the juxtaposition between Michael, who's a Beretta. I mean, he's just fit, and then me, that's like one of those mucus guys on the commercials.
No.
Don't say that about yourself. That's
Yeah.
not true at
I
all.
find the Jubilee a big toe.
I think everybody can't help but find your character somehow, kind of like Jimmy, amusing. I think under different circumstances, I think everybody finds you amusing, but you're getting us all in such trouble.
I know.
Because they just wreak such havoc
It's
to methodical people.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
So, Michael, how soon do you think, is it I forget if it was scripted or not, how soon do you think he figures out why, or like how much trouble they are in with the Hummer?
What do you? Oh, I think
As
the
far as,
moment
like,
that's in episode
second-
1. I
That's
think
in 1, right?
the moment he sees the moment he sees the Hummer, Nacho immediately says, "What the fuck is this?"
Okay, so that was in 1. So then here,
And then here, I think he realizes Mike. I think what's interesting about Nacho is, despite being a gangster, he's very rational, and he's able to put his ego aside and say, "This is the best course of action."
oh, okay.
And Mike's plan when he comes to the upholster shop makes total sense, and Nacho abides by it and says, "This is good." What I love about this particular scene is the stakes are so low that Nacho actually cracks a joke, which is very unusual of him, about the Hummer being a school bus for 6-year-old pimps.
So good.
I thought that was
That's a good
so
joke.
funny.
That line.
That's a good
Oh,
line,
man.
Danny.
I just love how Pryce is so emotionally invested in this Hummer.
Yeah.
That even though she take good care of her.
Yeah. Yep. Like
He's
it's
so
a ship.
earnest.
Yes,
Oh.
Yes.
And he asks for an apology.
I think that apology would be in order.
I think apology would be in order.
That's hilarious.
I mean, that's that arrogance that he doesn't know how high these stakes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Well,
tried
this
to
guy
do.
broke into his house.
Yeah.
Yeah. His life was disrupted.
Yes.
He's just very about
the baseball cards.
compartmentalizing.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know?
We tried to do that scene with the first one with as little dust as possible,
Oh.
in contrast
Oh.
with the Hummer, to give the Hummer the big.
Oh,
this.
Yeah.
Look at all that dust.
They had
I
people.
bet
They had
Jonathan
people with
loved it.
brooms. They had people
Yeah.
with brooms pushing the
Yeah.
dust out.
What is this building in real life? Is it
Abandoned?
defunct?
I think it's a former power plant. isn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh, cool.
And of course, we've seen it a number of times
Yes, yes,
before.
yes.
And I love the "Take Me Out to the Ball Game"
Yeah.
ringtone. That was, I think, that might have been an inspiration in post. I don't
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
It's good.
I didn't know, and so when I was watching, I was laughing pretty damn hard.
I love the shots you guys do under the lights with that symmetrical shot in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
I love.
You mean
that
where
shot.
Hamlin looks like
Yeah.
Jesus or the Madonna?
It's very Kubrick. Very Kubrick. I find.
Going back to the Eisenhower administration.
Terry and Arthur have worked together, and that's how they know. Paul Donachie, our 8-camera operator, worked with Terry in England. They're both English. And then Terry worked with Arthur on a pilot and brought Paul with him. So this is all a little group that's worked together, and Terry has a great eye, and certainly so does Paul.
Key fobs and electronics.
This broke my heart.
Yeah. I love
Yep.
you. I love Ray, you, and Bob in the sequence. It's just, to me, this is so. Yeah. When I remember being on set and just feeling so bad for Jimmy.
Yep.
You know?
As a viewer, because I didn't know this scene existed, and as a viewer, as soon as she comes in and starts collecting things, I'm like, wait, what? And then
Yeah.
God, no.
And it is a it's a big deal for Chuck to do this
Oh,
for
yeah.
him, and I just love what Bob does here. The wind is just so out of his sails.
And then Michael playing it, McKean just playing it from his character's perspective of like, just here.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
at the conference. I mean,
yeah.
he knows what he's doing.
That
but-
fake, jovial,
Yep.
you know.
And he declines to take the seat at the head of the table.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
he does.
So it's
Getting documents
poor
from
Jimmy.
some of the
if,
clients.
but
I know I still can't even breathe through the scene. Like,
if
I
you have
just-
if you have the love of a good woman, you can conquer anything. And this is
You know what? That's sweet, but I also always thought of this of like it's that moment of just having someone on your team,
Yes.
making life a little easier.
yes, without a doubt. And as twice in this episode, under the table, we've got a slightly different story going on.
Now this one we didn't go shoot under a fake table.
No,
No.
Shot it, yeah.
no,
around.
but it's the hands. They've got little things, little signals going to
But
each
it was
other.
one of those funny moments that you're like, only as an actor, right? I think we shot like 12 different versions of me grabbing his leg. It was like more sentimental, more sexual, less sexual, just sort of like, hey, I'm here. Like all these
Yeah.
it was funny.
Well, you do a lot of hand acting too.
I do.
People
I
don't
do.
call you out for it.
No, they have separate awards for that, and I've been really lucky.
It's no joke. Our cast acts from head to toe. And there's like right there.
Kidding aside, I have told people like I think it is. Don't you? The other actors in the room, don't you think like it's such a gift that they do shoot so many mediums and wides on this? That as performers, like especially stage performers, like it's a gift to get to play a scene in your whole body.
Absolutely.
Instead of worry about squeezing out one tear to get it right.
Yeah.
you know?
Also, you guys, it's very rare in the way they're making television now to have long scenes that read like plays.
Totally.
And to be able to know that we're doing master shots and to be able to create a rhythm almost like the theater is a real treat for us.
And unanticipated arcs. It's not just like ABC. Like they go, you go all over
a
the
lot of
place.
twists and turns for sure.
His line, I'm just here to bear witness, made me want to punch him in the face. It was like so perfectly neutrally asshole.
Yeah.
And this
Oh, here it comes.
sequence,
This
of
is
course,
the big one.
this is a tour de force. And I have to ask you, Skip.
Yes.
I'm assuming that you had a number of different angles on this scene.
There were quite a few different
How do
angles
you
on this.
decide where to be? What to use?
With the performances and stuff, it's like in this scene, everybody had great reactions on their faces. Jimmy played it very straight. Then the cops were like, when he starts getting into the whole squat cobbler thing, it's just the looks on their face was priceless. They were wanting to laugh, but they didn't know if they should or not. And of course, Pryce is just wondering at some point, when is Jimmy going to step in and start to help him out?
And these two detectives were
so
so
good.
good. A. Russell Andrews and Troy Winbush.
Yeah.
It was really fun to play off them.
They were
Are you
great.
playing that you don't know at all what you don't know what Jimmy's going to use as the defense, do you?
No, I think Jimmy, to me, he comes up with it on the spot in a way. I may be wrong there. That's how I interpreted it.
But from your character's point of view,
I think
it's correct.
Yeah, I just think he wants me out because, he wants to,
Because again, you are ruining everything
Right.
Let's
Exactly.
do lawyer stuff.
with your nervousness.
Yeah,
He's
going
going to do lawyers. He's going to do some
stuff.
hand waving
Right.
and make it better.
But what's great is in the way that Jimmy runs scams, where the best scam is one that people want to be scammed. You want to draw them in. Part of Pryce's nervousness, part of the reason why Jimmy's letting him go is because he kind of wants to draw the detectives in. He wants them to think there is something hidden there because that goes into his scheme of like, well, okay, what's the thing that he could be nervous about? And, weird sex stuff is always the thing that you're going to be the most nervous about, obviously. Or, unusual, not the mainstream sex stuff.
Stop labeling.
Yeah, exactly.
Subculture.
I heard that was based on an experience you had.
It was my first wife. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a joke.
I wanted to see where you're going with it.
Look how dark that is behind them.
Yes.
Love
Yeah.
it.
I mean, this is also, I think I'm so proud of this scene because it's 4 guys now, 3 guys sitting around a table, but it is so cinematic. It's got such drama to it, visual and audio is in every way. And of course, I think it's spectacular how you and Terry and the crew figured out to put a window into the office, so that even when Pryce is out of the room, he's still part of the
He's still
scene.
there.
Yeah.
And he has no idea.
Yep.
He has
so
no
funny.
idea what's
No
being talked
clue.
about.
Yeah.
It's
No
just-
You
clue.
do
Just
such a
drinking
great
coffee.
job, Mark, honestly, on this character. You're so
It's
much
so
fun
good.
to watch.
and I think this.
So good.
I believe.
It's so sad and funny at the same time.
And this office actually is in the courthouse building,
Yeah.
right?
It is?
Yeah, it's very big. Very big.
Oh, is it? It's a large room.
Well, not
This is?
Well, the
The office.
building is.
There.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, oh.
Yeah.
This office is. I mean, it's remarkable the small spaces that,
Yeah.
that
Oh,
this
yes.
group can shoot in and get great shots. It's a
Yeah,
pretty
I know.
small
I think
office.
a lot of people think a lot of these things are sets because you can't even figure out how you get cameras in them, but most of them are real rooms.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a very tight squeeze, this room.
It's great. There you are drinking coffee, reading stuff. Was that? Did Terry tell you to go in there?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
did you
Yeah,
come
yeah,
up with
yeah.
your business?
I mean, Terry and Jenny were like, "You're just looking at things.
Yeah.
Okay, come over here, and what's
you are
that?
again.
What's that on the wall?" and stuff like that. So.
There's something clueless, but also very entitled about the way he looks at stuff. Even
Yeah.
it's just so funny.
Yeah.
It's so.
Did we get the
It's-
thing where you
yeah.
actually pull a number? I can't remember if,
I don't
if that
think we
made
did do
Was
that.
that guitar
We wanted
lessons?
to do
Yeah, it was
that,
like
yeah.
guitar lessons, and I pulled the.
Yeah,
More
we wanted to
music,
get
more
that.
music.
More
Yeah.
music.
I just love the idea that maybe I'll start playing guitar. And that his mind wanders enough from what's going on, really.
Yeah.
That he considers.
He's
I'm
he's
going
not
to be
just
leaving here.
He's
and
under
I'll-
suspicion of
the
being a
glass the
drug
whole
dealer.
time.
And yet, yes, this is where his head is at.
Right. But I do love that he had the gumption to be kind of a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know why but for some reason this guy who's so seemingly straight-laced and milquetoast, and I think that's real life.
Decided
I
to
think
sell
people do
drugs.
that. Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
that happens. And some people just have a bit of a criminal element.
You're right.
And
That's the
it's
whole
interesting.
He's just not very good at it.
No.
You know,
No,
it's
Lord,
it's
or life.
I think we love professionalism.
Yes.
And of course, this scene, it turns
These
out,
detectives are so
Jenny, it turns out this scene is this is a huge deal. People really took to Squad Cobbler.
People
Yes, they
really,
did.
yes, they formed a real connection to Squad Cobbler. Yeah, no, it's. I mean, I think we kind of knew that it would at least get some attention just because it's so out there, but it took off a bit.
I watched this episode with my fiance and two of my close friends, Hannah and Dave, and they didn't know anything. You know, I've never told anybody what happens in the shows. Watching them piece together what he is getting ready to say, and then trying to figure out what's happening, and then hearing Squad Cobbler, I thought they were going to lose it. Just literally lose it. It was so awesome.
Yeah.
Boston.
I like
all the locations. It's Boston. It's Hoboken.
Yeah.
They always have.
Could be specific.
And the story with the art collector.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
funny.
the patron. Yeah.
And these two, Russell Andrews and Troy Winbush, they are key to this scene. Bob is doing a wonderful, wonderful job, but you want to see how are these guys reacting to this, and that's one of the things I think I love the way. Love the way Terry directed. I love the way Skip, the way you cut this, because it all hinges on, are they buying it? What do they think of this?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, actually, one of the biggest laughs in the scene is when one of the cops says, "You're shitting me."
Yeah.
It's just, he kind of breaks. He breaks for a moment. It's just wonderful.
And I left the way they always turn around and look at Pryce with wondering, is this really what he does?
Yeah, and a little bit of like, do I want to envision this? Can I?
Yes.
There is like this curiosity of when you hear something like that, you don't want to hear it, but you want to know it. So it's like this thing of like, don't tell me, but what is it?
Right,
Yeah.
and like Bob had said in another discussion, like there's a part of you when those weird sexual terms come up or whatever that you don't want to be the person that doesn't you
Doesn't
don't understand how
understand
you
it,
didn't
yeah.
know this before. Like,
Yeah.
oh, are people saying this? That's a thing. Oh,
Yeah. It makes Pryce automatically more interesting that he does, that they think he does.
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
Like, there's more to you.
and look,
Mystery.
and now he's so happy.
He's happy, except he's going to have to make a video.
What?
Oh, boy. What do you think that would look like if Pryce really made a video?
Yeah. What would that be like? What would he
Boy.
wear?
He did, obviously, in the story, right?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be messy. If
It could be a new business.
I love all those pies.
I think we actually filmed Bob carrying 1 pie, 2, 3. I think we did up to 5 pies. And I thought maybe more than 2 was a little too much. But I think it works well. I think it's kind of funny because it's that balance of like, they really going to eat all that pie?
Yeah, her refrigerator is just full of pie.
Full of
For
pie.
sure.
Full of pie.
For sure. I love that I'm wearing the American Samoa.
Yes.
sauce.
Oh, I love that.
Not have come up with that. The muse.
Do you think Kim brought one of the pies to HHM the next day? just kind of left it out. Free pie?
Oh, especially now that she's worried that somebody may have sat in one of them. I think she has some very special people to deliver some of this.
So I'm sorry that I
That
made you
pie's so
guys
good.
eat so much pie.
It was so good, but we did eat a lot, and we had to ask them to try to get more bananas in it than custard, just because you start to get a sugar high and you almost like lose it.
Kira, I think, was dressing in bananas between takes
Yep,
for you
yep.
guys.
This scene, though, I love this.
so
This is one, and this is one of my friend and manager's favorite scenes, just because the shift it takes is so real to any relationship that it is romantic and sweet, and then somebody says something just a little off, and then you're kind of like, hey, what does that mean? And then you're like, what does that mean? And and then all of a sudden it goes very dark. And you have this very different negotiation that has to happen.
Falsified evidence.
I think it's interesting because Jimmy, I think after Kim went along in the previous episode, she she loves all the scamming, and now there's more complexity than he expected.
It was totally my own thing.
Why?
We had so many takes that this scene you could have played it out in single takes because just the performances were so amazing. And like every take was like, that was the best one. And then the next one, I'd be like, that was the best one. So credit to cutting this scene because I feel like just being on set, there was so much great stuff.
A lot of great choices, and those wide shots were so beautiful. That,
they're like, in that shot they just showed, they're literally floating on their own island. Just the two of them. It's great.
You liked it.
It was directed and written so beautifully, and we had a blast finding the different paths. And that's another thing the show does so well is there's not one single answer to the way you can play these scenes.
Also, as a fan of the show, like Ray, your Kim here, you start to realize, there is a stop, there is a limit to, and it's kind of a low limit, and so you start to realize, like, she's very much about being ethical and altruistic with law, and as we know, where Jimmy goes, that's not the case with him.
And she has these lines in the sand that keep having to be reconsidered depending on where she's standing.
Incredible! I can't imagine. Like how you would write that.
And by the way, Ray, I hate to say it, but you just look adorable in that sweatshirt. As far as I'm concerned, Jimmy shouldn't do anything to screw up this relationship. He's so lucky to be sitting there.
You're so
sweet.
With you. True to form for character and for the lovely Bob, he said in one of the panel discussions, how does he think the relationship's going? And he's like, he found a woman that wears his sweatshirt and eats pie in bed with him. They're doing great.
What a terrific episode. And Squat Cobbler will live in infamy.
I will forever be known.
Are you worried
long
about
after I die?
No.
As the Squat Cobbler. It'll be on my grave.
But you drive a badass Hummer, so you're good.
There we go. Great episode.
Thanks.
Great
so
job,
much. Great job,
Jenny.
guys.
And Terry, everyone.